South Africa up against Portugal, folks. First ever game between these two sides. 3 a.m. kickoff for me. Get up pretty bleary-eyed and watch South Africa as they get a red card early on. Esterhuizen gets red carded on 3 minutes. But despite that fact, 2 yellow cards. So playing with not 15 guys on the field, still absolutely put Portugal to the sword. 64 points to 21. But Portugal, to go down to South Africa and score 3 tries in their first match up against the world champions, can still hold their heads high for always wanting to play the game. Great crowd there in Bloemfontein. Great lineup for South Africa. It's 100%. But the goal kicking from Manie Libbok still proves to be a bit of a bugbear. I really felt bad for him. I felt bad for Esterhuizen because he doesn't get that many starts at 12. And he gets red carded. And I felt bad for Libbok because he gets a start. And the one thing, he always runs the show well, but the one thing you always want him to do is kick his goals. He didn't really do that. And those are the kind of 2 main bugbears for mine. You let me know what Rusty will think about this one, because there were certainly all smiles in the coach's box. But overall, I think a net positive for the South Africans in this side, which was, very experimental. A lot of debutants in the side who came through the match pretty well. I'm not going to go through all the tries because there were just so many of them. 10 for the Springboks. Wessels gets one on his debut. That one's from close range. Buthelezi gets one from a maul. That's the kind of Springboks power game which you expected to see. The Arendse one, and he was working hard. After they'd conceded the first try, I didn't even mention the Portuguese first try to Dos Santos, which is proper Portuguese rugby try. Length of the field, Dinkin kicks through. After the 7-0 lead down, the South Africans went to work. But currently Arendse to even just do things like chase restarts. You know what I mean? Like chasing the restart, putting Portugal under pressure at the breakdown, getting South Africa back into the game. So they went from 7-0 down to 10-7 up. A couple of missed conversions for those first 2 tries, but 2 tries early to the box. You get the Arendse one, which is Fassi from great kick return. It's good heads-up play. He was playing with confidence at fullback. Jason Dixon, again, not long after the restart, close range. Some key guys, I think it was Libbok and having kind of big carries in the build-up to that one. And then, Lukhanyo getting one before half-time, which made it 29 points to 7. It was Libbok that put him into a gap. So, again, he pulls the strings well. Just the goal kicking from the tee at times is a problem. But 29 points to 7 at half-time. And that's despite the fact that currently Arendse has gone off with a yellow card for a croc roll. The croc roll one will be particularly frustrating for South African fans because they were on the wrong end of a croc roll last week, which injured Malcolm Marx, which was a pretty bad one. Kurt Lee's one didn't look quite as bad, and I don't think it really landed on the limb like the referee said happened. I thought Holly Davidson had a good game. At one point, she reversed the penalty when Snyman got a bit worked up, but he still gets yellow card for croc roll. But it don't matter because South Africa still go ahead and score with 13 men. Anyway, they absolutely dominated possession and territory, which you would expect with the difference between these teams. 63% possession at halftime, 55% territory, run meters more than double, 393 to 156. More defenders beaten, more clean breaks. Scrum under a lot of pressure, the Portuguese. But again, it's to be expected. And it's even with 14 men on the field, at times 13. Kurt Lee comes back on in the second half. And has a big line break. The Portuguese did well to bring him down, but there are more tries for South Africa in the second half. Mapimpi gets 3. So a hat-trick in one half of rugby. First one, I think, was from an attacking scrum. He gets one not long later. That one was from Feinberg-Mngomezulu on kick return as well. It's confidence to play on the kick return. Heads-up rugby. One-handed pass. It's proper thing of beauty stuff. Horn gets one on debut, but he also gets a yellow card for a tackle in the air, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's, again, confident play. And then the Portuguese got 2 in the second half, which is, again, pretty pleasing. Dos Santos got one. It was a proper 2-on-1 play when they had some, just offload to kind of get the extra man out into some space. That made it 43-14, which is still a long way back, but it was pleasing to see them get on the board. But Horn going round Appleton for his try was pretty sweet. So 50 points to 14. Sasha Feinberg-Mngomezulu kicks a really nice 50-22. That's the one that sends Hugo Fencer over. Man, there were just so many tries. But Portugal's still playing. Like, they scored one. Quick play, keeping the ball moving. That's when Horn got the yellow card for the tackle in the air. But just quick Portuguese play, which was really pleasing to see. So 57-21. South Africa still had the last say. They're not going to let the last try wins thing go to the Portuguese. So Mapimpi gets his hat-trick right before full time. Goodness me. There was a lot going on in that game. But like I said, there was all smiles from the coaching team in South Africa. Tony Brown and Rassi seemingly having a pretty good laugh. But yeah, like I said, it's the cards and the goal kicking from Libbok, which I don't mean to go on about the goal kicking from Libbok. It's just hard for him when you see Feinberg-Mngomezulu come off the bench and just nail everything. Like, that guy's stocks are absolutely rising. Yeah, he really looks the business, doesn't he? He's taken to test rugby like really nothing. Possession finish is 60-40, territory 57-43, dominant for the Boks. Run meters through 731 to 366. Kicks from hand is pretty low, 19 by each side. Offloads, though, 17-9 to South Africa. They were absolutely chucking it round. Snyman is responsible for 5 of those offloads. Yeah, individuals. Feinberg-Mngomezulu, two try assists, 44 run meters, a clean break, 2 defenders beaten. Kicks all his goals. Like, Libbok's numbers, 63 meters, 4 defenders beaten, a try assist, clean break, also not bad. Just the goal kicking's not quite as sharp. Ben Jason Dixon, 40 meters, 2 defenders beaten. Lukhanyo arm, 5 defenders beaten. Makazole Mapimpi, 6 defenders beaten. 119 meters, 3 tries. I mean, the top tackler for the Boks is Elric Lowe with 6. They didn't have to do a lot of defensive work in this game. And to be fair, the tackle percentage is not great. 59 out of 84 for 70% is below standard for South Africa. But again, 14 men on the field, 13 men on the field. And the Portuguese just chucking it round. So, yeah, sometimes that'll happen. Pinto got 10 defenders beaten, which is nuts. Dos Santos, the substitute, gets 139 meters, 2 clean breaks, and 4 defenders beaten. Not a bad shift against the South African side, which they are playing for the first time. But, yeah, ultimately a pretty lopsided game. But yeah, good chance for the South Africans to vary up their lineup ahead of the Rugby Championship. It'll be interesting to see what kind of squad gets selected for that one. It does feel like the biggest winner of the first few games of the South African campaign has been Feinberg-Mngomezulu. His credibility as a test match player has absolutely gone through the roof. So what do you guys reckon? Who do you reckon has put themselves in a good position for selection for the Rugby Championship for South Africa? Which one of these kind of emerging guys do you think is putting pressure on the existing guys? And what did you think of Portugal? Like I said, they like to run it round. Sometimes a little bit too ambitious, sometimes a little bit more caution maybe would have been the appropriate one, but they don't get that many chances to play South Africa, and they got to keep to their own DNA. So they certainly gave it a crack. You guys let us know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.